Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Sunday, March, is it the 3rd or 4th? I think it's the 3rd. Sunday, March 3rd. My watch says 4th. Isn't that weird? Sunday, March 3rd, 2024, almost right on the, a little bit after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. As the energies shift and change on this planet and throughout this solar system, it's a cycle of not so much renew, but regeneration of higher frequency. And where does this come from? Who decides this? And when you have an imbalance of anything, it's disruptive. It's the same as an imbalance of light and dark. And this planet has been gripped, and it doesn't mean that the civilization has so much, but the influence of beings throughout eons have literally instigated a dampening field on the planet. What's a dampening field? The dampening field pulls down high blissful energies. It pulls them down, which then convert into worry, stress, fear, anxiety, hatred, anger, destruction, manipulation, greed, all those things. Now, what is that catering to? It's catering to our ego mind. And just about everything as far as control factors on this planet they talk to the ego mind. Commercials, advertisements, just your everyday walk of life caters to the ego mind. Now, most of us don't know that. Some do. Some have identified it. And this is why we feel out of kilter, not in sync. And there is a lot of people on this planet that just don't feel in sync. There's something they can't put their finger on, but they just know that there's some kind of an imbalance. And the imbalance isn't our natural state of being, so this is why we feel uncomfortable. Or, what do you call it? Kind of pressure, stress type thing, kind of be like in a vacuum. So many people will say, well, then I've got to look for the answer. Got to find the answer to this. I'm going to go out there and find it. I'm going to look in books. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And you don't find it. Because any civilization that has evolved does it because it decides to. Not because of book, not because of this or that, but from within. That's how civilization decides to continue or not continue. To advance and expand, or to shrivel, shrink, and be no more. So when you bring in a massive amount of light energy, frequency, high, deep eternal love frequency, and you saturate a planet in all life, which is God, with this, it's a perpetual, non-ending shower of pure bliss, joy, peace, freedom, deep eternal love, all at once. Now, to melt or to disintegrate these layers that have built up over centuries and millennia, this frequency, this energy of light, doesn't melt it, it vaporizes it. It shifts it completely as soon as it makes contact with it. So then what happens when you have so many people, so many different beliefs, going in so many different directions, like blinding speed, faster than the speed of light, thoughts rushing and going, coming, and going all different directions, and belief mechanisms and programming and conditioning, billions of people's thoughts swimming all over the place. Other people's thoughts, not yours. Because believe it or not, most of us we don't create our own thoughts. We take thoughts that come in through the chatter, through the ego mind, and we embrace those, and we make those our thoughts. It is an inevitability that high-frequency light, deep eternal love light energy, the God, which we all are, totally mitigates the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies. Eliminates, and you can see what's happening. The things that are happening and going on. It's like when you shine the light in a dark room in a certain part of the world. We used to go to, they would call it base housing. Some of the base housing was not really that great. And I remember one base housing that we were in, and it's guest housing. So it's when a family comes to a military installation, and they put them in guest housing until there's a house ready on the base for them to move into. Okay. This particular one was quite interesting because it had cement floors in it, and we weren't aware of it. My dad, of course, is always gone most of the time, and so we were in there along with my mother, and there was a community kitchen too. Say that you didn't have your own refrigerator or stove, you have to go to the kitchen that everybody would use in this grouping of, I guess you could call them, guest housing. They weren't like a house, though. So anyway, we heard, one night, my brother and I heard a noise, weird noise. We figured it out. So we got flashlights that we had, turned them on, and the floor, the cement floor, you couldn't see the cement because it was covered completely with cockroaches. I mean, some of you probably understand about cockroaches, but this was off the charts. I mean, every room, the whole floor was covered with them. Not little dinky ones either. They were monstrous size cockroaches. So we knew that every time you turn the light on, cockroaches would just scatter. They would run, and I mean fast, like lightning. Now that's how, when you come across this as an analogy, that's what's happening on this planet. The pure evil is like these cockroaches, and it's scattering, running, trying to hide. And see, there's no dark corner anymore for it to hide. There isn't. It's gone. Usually they were able to hide all the time in plain daylight. So people on the planet would never know any of this that has been going on for so very long. But now since we have the light, the deep eternal love light energy and frequency, I mean just on all the time through the photon energy field that we are now, the solar system's going through, and it'll be going through it for over 2,000 years. So this isn't a short, boom, and that's it. This is long-term transition for the civilization. You'll begin, it's like this. The frequencies of lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies are diminishing. And you're watching it. And I know some of you are starting to see it. It's not wishful thinking, but you're seeing as it degrades, as it begins to lose its power. And it's subtle. It's not blatant right now. But of course you hide that. You don't care to have others know that your power is diminishing. Well, how can that be? Our attention as a civilization, it also affects us greatly. So our attention is what? It's going towards what we want. We're focusing on things, and some of us it's subconscious, not to the surface yet. Others are focusing on things that they want, the type of life they want, and there's nothing wrong with that. And even though everything is perfect, exactly the way it is, that's to be able to understand that and embrace that, and to move away from wanting, because everything is already ours. And that's difficult for many to understand. Well, if that was the case, I'd have everything I could ever dream of. Well, you do. You just don't know it. And by not knowing it, how do you manifest it? You don't. So the influence that the dark has played on this civilization, and we're talking about, different rebel factions from other civilizations, left and right all over the place, just off-worlders coming and going. But if they can get you to focus on something, and then many to focus on something, whatever it may be, to their liking, because they're masters at it, they know how to use our power against us. And this is what we're learning. How to use our power against us to benefit them. Because it's all they have. So they have to figure out a way through the ego mind to manipulate, control us, and direct us in the direction that they choose. For instance, you make up a story about something that's horrible and destructive, like a world war. They do a fib or a lie, and then the rest of the people believe that it is a truth that's actually happening. Everything on this planet, everything, is a show. It's all fake. But the majority of the people don't know that because of their not being aware. So to them, they believe everything face value on the surface. But you can see how it's deteriorating. If you stood in a room, let's say you're in a room, four walls, there's no windows, there's a ceiling, and then all of a sudden these walls start closing in. They start moving towards you. Okay? And there's a door. that you came into the room from. You start noticing walls moving, and you go, well, maybe it's just, the building's adjusting or something. But I'm sure it's not going to get to the point where it will crush me. But the walls keep moving, and then what happens? Fear comes in. Fear. Which accelerates this whole happening. And you got one eye still on the door. Okay. You back up a little bit, get closer to the door, which is doubt. Okay. And the walls they're not moving fast. They're just barely creeping in. You figure you have time, right? But there's that fear, the unknown. Is it going to overtake me? Or is it going to stop in time? And I can't stop it. I'm not that strong. So doubt, lack of confidence, fear, lack of faith in oneself situation. The point is that all of us, each and every one of us, inside these bodies, have unlimited power. Unlimited. There's no limits to it. And we're plugged in always from our beginning. Always. We really never had a beginning. We just are. We have this innate power. It is omnipotently, it's off the charts. Every one of us. And people say, well, how can I, in my body I've got that kind of power. Because you're the God. All of us have it. So when you focus on something, the thing that deters us from believing, having 100% faith, confidence, and trust in ourselves and the universe is what? What does it? The ego mind does it. It stops us. And what's the conditioning and programming? The conditioning programming is that you are weak, you are not powerful, you have really no say, okay, and you're controlled and directed because you need to be. What would happen in real time if we were to focus through the heart-mind in a meditative state on this planet, and we focused on pure, deep, eternal love with everything and everyone? No exceptions. And we intensified it, which means we didn't focus on it like that and move on. We keep focusing on it throughout the course of the day. And even when we lay our head on the pillow at night to go to sleep, we focus. We leave it a little bit, then we go back and we focus on it. How many of us subconsciously are doing that? What do you believe created this wave? And it's a perpetual wave. It doesn't just come in and leave and be gone. It's an eternal wave of love, light, energy. We created that collectively. We created it. Now, many doubt themselves that there's no way that they're that powerful to do that. But we are. What created everything? What? We did. What created the universes? We did. Well, that's kind of strange because this universe has been proven to be a massive generating holographic universe. So what? We create it to experience, right? There are universes that are completely liquid. So when you traverse through their space, these particular ones that are liquid, it's a whole different experience. There's other universes that are negatives, reverse fields. Okay? Just like when in the old days, you'd take pictures and you'd have them develop, but you would have the negatives you'd develop from the negatives, right? And the picture and in the negatives you would see reverse field. You would everyone in the picture was white. Remember? It was white, and then everything in the background was dark. And the only thing that looked white, mostly, were the people. So you're talking about reverse field universes. Who created all this stuff? We did. Do we remember? No. We don't have a clue that we did. But we did collectively across all life. All life. And all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Who continually creates universes? We do. How do we do that? Through experience. We do it through experience. So we create our lives in physical material worlds, and we experience in those lives. And we learn. We continue to learn. Never ending. So with that knowledge, with that learning that we pick up through experience, not books, then it gives us an open opportunity to create a perfect universe. It's just like we go through these phases, right? And since we have, in our particular case, we have no memory of our past lives, which has been engineered that way, so we never find out who and what we are. Because if that happened, then that system would be no more. So when you look at something, and your mind, okay, the mind starts going, doesn't it? That happens for all of us. Look at something, the mind goes. It starts creating. So if you were to be able to discipline yourself, and when you thought about something, you would direct it in the highest level and frequencies. I want this planet to be free of evil, pure evil. And so it is, so it shall be, because of the fact that that's what's happening. You see the cockroaches scattering everywhere, trying to hide underground, trying to hide in corners and cracks and crevices, and actually trying to be nice and benevolent in front of their audiences when they're the opposite, and the audiences are now picking up on the fact and the vibrational frequencies. These beings are not being honest with us. They're not being straight with us. They're twisting and, changing and manipulating. So people would say, well, how in the heck can they do? Show us an example of them having us do what they want us to do. Okay? Well, the example is this. Create a lie that the people believe. Now, that's not hard, because this civilization believes that the lie is the truth. That's why there's so much misdirection and confusion. You create a lie, and the lie creates conflict. Major conflict. And that's war. World War I based on a lie. World War II based on a lie. Vietnam War based on a lie. Okay, there were many Civil War based on a lie. So they hide the truth and tell the lie, sell the lie as the truth so that the people believe that the lie is the truth, so that the people are manipulated and start using their power to do what? Kill others. Kill parts of themselves, because when you do that to someone else, you're actually doing it to yourself. But what's happening is that we're picking up on these frequencies, these vibrational frequencies. And it's getting more so that people, it's not a judgment at all. It's not an ego mind either. It's heart-mindedness saying that, okay, this isn't right. This isn't on target. What they're saying is complete garbage and crap. They're lying. And more people at least are getting to the point to realize that they all lie. They all lie. What do you do with that? Well, like the cockroaches, okay? We put on my dad's combat boots, because he had several. And we went through the only thing we could think of. We went that wasn't, toxic and we'd have to breathe it in and that type of thing. So we went through this guest housing and just started smashing them because there were so many. Turn the lights off, right? Turn the flashlights off, and we just started smashing them. You can hear them crunching under our feet. So we all got in the bedroom and all got in the same bed. And all night we listened to these cockroaches crawling on the walls. It was quite an experience. But it ended, the place had to be fumigated, and of course we left and went into permanent housing. That's what's happening on this planet. Pure evil has set up home here for millions of years. And so the light, the energy field, our frequency of pure, deep, eternal love, is disintegrating their hold on this civilization. So they appear to be running around like what? Cockroaches, scattering everywhere. And they're finding out that when the things they're saying to their audiences don't work anymore. That don't work. More and more people are beginning to realize that we're on the opposite, let's say, the opposite side of the tracks. Totally the opposite in belief than what we have. Are now at least starting to realize that it seems to them that they've been had. And this is a huge transition for any civilization. When you get comfortable with evil and don't know that evil is actually existing, then you know that evil is in charge, manipulating the civilization into the direction they want, manipulating the civilization to believe certain things and focus on certain things so that it can be in their favor. And this is an ongoing visual and intent from all of us on the cleanup of this planet. It's not guns and rockets, thermonuclear devices and that type of thing. Our power far exceeds any of that combined. And we don't have to harm the planet and blow it up and do this and do that. We focused on how we want this planet to be. That's it. And it's basically, it's the fauna, the life on the planet, the water, all the magic that this planet has, and to re-implement a lot of things that were taken away by the lower dark matter frequencies. But you do this in the quiet time of the meditation, and you get into your position of comfort, relaxation into the body, and you focus on the breath, of course. And then you move energy. You move it. It's everywhere. So you literally take energy like a magician, right? And you shape it. You move it into form. And you bring it into your reality. That's what we're talking about, focusing on what you want. For yourself, of course. And the planet and all life. We're like these, we're balls of light that are the highest frequency that there is and beyond. Omnipotently powerful. And all along never knew it. Never knew it. Millions of years never knew it. But this time we are coming out of the fog, and not all of us, but more so now than ever. But we're still the minority, and it doesn't take the majority. Really doesn't. Not everybody has to be awake. In fact, the majority don't have to be awake. And what do? We focus our attention through our heart mind, through deep eternal love, to assist this photon energy field that we created to begin with. And it's like the earth, like I said, the negatives, right? Reverse field, where the people it looks like they glow, people glow in those negatives. You ever just take a negative and you'll see. Anything that has a high frequency life glows. It is really white in these negatives. And you view the planet that way. The planet becomes brilliantly golden white light. It's the whole planet that you can't see anything but the light. You don't see the greens and the blues or anything. It's just saturated by the light. And that's intensifying it so that the acceleration of the transition has been shifted into high gear. But you don't just do it, you don't visit it once, you continually visit it. You continually view the light as it's saturating everything on this planet. You view the photon energy field which we created. We're the one. We're the God source. We're the God. We're pure consciousness. How clearer can you get? Of course, many of us have been steeped in the physical form and forgotten who and what we are, and we've gotten too attached to the bodies. But some are beginning to realize that there's no way, shape, or form that there is this evil power, okay, that's suppressing us. If you really want to get technical, The evil power is what we manifest. It isn't an entity. It's us. Both good and bad. It's us. Now, because we don't master our thoughts, we don't know what that means. Most people don't. And because we don't learn to go within and do what? Master the ego mind. Before anything, that's the direction we must go if we want to flourish as a civilization. And you know that you can ask the God within you that you are, that it snaps together. Look at where we're at. Look at all the religions, okay? 50, 60,000, how many? It's just every day there's new ones. Has that, all the holiness, has that showered the planet in benevolence, and we're all at peace, and we're all loving ourselves and each other and all life, and we all are connected consciously to the gods we are in the body? Is that happening? No. When you separate, you try to separate an omnipotently powerful existence, it backfires. You can't separate it. That's the illusion. That's what's been played on this civilization for a very long time, to separate us, keep us off the understanding of just exactly who and what we are. Because the control mechanisms in this galaxy and the universes would no longer exist. And I'm talking about the dark control mechanism. We carry our own board of approval and disapproval. Every one of us do. We carry our own law, which states that we put together billions of years ago, do no harm. That's it. What is so impactful about those words? Do no harm. 3 words. Because if you do harm, you're doing harm to yourself. You're depleting yourself when you do harm. Because you deplete yourself through actions of doing harm. And it's a never-ending process. Piece after piece of you falls away. Knowing these things, we can focus our light energy to make sure that all these negative deterrents which start with us are no more. It's too good to be true, or that can't happen, or that's impossible, or you're crazy, or there's many of them that the society has invented. And focus on the fact that we are one. So why would you ridicule yourself? Why would you come down hard on yourself? Doesn't it make sense to be deeply eternal loving, gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times? Those are powerful frequencies, but they're very light-hearted. They aren't ego mind. See, this planet, unbeknownst to the population, has been slowly but surely, it's the process of sterilization of this planet. No life, where the planet is dead in space. And you put two and two together, and in your heart mind, you know this has been the direction or process or however you want to describe it. You can feel it. We're all here in these bodies at this time to change it, to shift it, to have it in harmonics with the gods that we are in these bodies. That's why we're all here right in this very now moment. There's no coincidences. That the millions of people that listen to these broadcasts, these meditations, all over the planet, there's no coincidence. Who, right, and I emphasize in their right mind, would say, oh no, I don't really care to have a God planet paradise. I'd rather have what we have right now. Dismay, disgruntled, irritating, fearful, stressful, anxiety, hatred, revenge, greed, manipulation. Who taught that to this civilization? Where did it all come from? We were programmed by other people's thoughts. And that's the way it's been going on for a very, very, very long time. We've been programmed by other people's thoughts. So here's the personalities and activities. We're not the personality. We're not the character. We're not these bodies. We are not our names. We are not our belongings. This is all temporary. And then we do our thing and we experience, and then we leave the body. And then we do it again, and again, and again. While we're in these bodies, and this particular lifetime, it all comes together. The planet is liberated completely. Pure evil is no more. The residual cannot last. Cannot. It too is disintegrated. That's what a God planet paradise, that's what we're moving into. And to picture that and to focus on it is humongous. It's huge. Because all of these vile, and I call it decrepit energy because it never moves, it never flourishes, it just stinkifies everything. And we're eliminating it. That's an absolute fact. Anybody I've asked, do you believe in your heart mind, not your head, that that's what we're doing? Yes. And it's without guns, it's without bombs, right? Obviously, if we have a group of people try to harm us, we will respond. And we're not saying that we just sit in a huddle singing Kumbaya and just let people do whatever they want with us. That's not what I'm saying. The conveyance is that we are the power. We are the photon energy field. We are the collect consciousness. We are pure consciousness, or God, which is another form of pure consciousness. It's just another name. And we have the ability all day long to change and shift anything we choose. That's a fact. That's been proven over and over and over again. All of us. Doesn't matter the life that you have currently, or what you're being challenged with, or how people think and feel about you. It has nothing to do with any of that. You have, in that body, inside your soul, you have always been a God. You always will be a God. Always, forever, and beyond. You have the power. It is cosmic power. It is everywhere. That's how we're able to move the energy. We are the energy. We move it. We literally form it. And we bring it into reality. Like this planet becomes a God planet paradise. Who did that? We did. And it's not arrogance and ego mind. It's heart-minded. We did that. We're doing it. We're creating a God planet paradise. We are bringing humanity out of extinction. We created the photon energy field. Everything that's ever been created, we've been part of. It's never ending. Will we assist with other planetary liberations? Absolutely. In other faraway galaxies or universes? Absolutely. But see, we as the gods travel entirely differently. We blink in and blink out. We could be 50 trillion light years somewhere else in a blink of the eye. There's no conditions. Those were created with this society. There's no limitations. There never were. How can you have limitations when you encourage expanding out? Where you begin to understand that you're a visionary, that you are a visioneer. You are not small. You are not weak. You never have been. You never will be. But if you're mastered by the ego mind, you will believe that to be true. That you do have limitations. That you can only do this and that. You can't go beyond that. And that's powerful because you're such a powerful being that you can do that. You can deem how you will be. You can create that whole field, that whole stage. You can create all the actors and actresses that are with you on that stage. This is a stage. It's a movie. It's a theater. It's a Broadway show. It's all of that. During the quiet time of this meditation, what are you focused on? It's what you want. You want a benevolent planet, and we're not talking about a weak, invadable planet. We're talking about a planet that is conscious. We're talking about a civilization that is knowledgeable. We're talking about a civilization that can move energy, create it at their will. Not even the will, but at the God that they are. They can move, create into reality and out of reality. Doesn't it make sense? Since we're already doing this, and most of us don't realize it in subconscious and unconscious modes, we're the change. That's what's happening. We're starting to embrace our true natural state of being, which is deep, eternal love, godliness, which we all are. And heaven on earth means that we are the heaven. The God within these bodies is the heaven, and the planet is the earth. Heaven on earth. We can create that. Not even an issue. Not even it's a done deal. We are the God. We are creation. We are the light. We are the love. So doesn't it make sense that we all focus on this planet and the elimination of pure evil permanently? It does not mean that we will all walk around in the light as zombies. It's totally the opposite of that. It does not mean that we will not learn and be challenged. The opposite is that will be true. but in much different ways. This way has gotten really old. I'm sure that you'll all agree. It's just gotten old. You know, we've done it so often and so long. It's old. It's just, it doesn't benefit us. And what I mean by benefit through the heart-mind, we never become aware. It's a redundant process that we must end and move on. You are the light. Use the light on what it was intended to be used for. Deep, eternal love of all life, all things. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Be still. Whatever you decide to do with this life, make time to explore the vibration of love. Devote your days and evenings to diving deeper into the feeling and experience of love. You'll find this practice is the most fulfilling, rewarding thing you will ever do. Infinite, amazing love awaiting you now. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night the following morning. We will return here Monday, March 4th, 2024, 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, and purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on outside you or inside you.